They call me Arachne. You might have heard my name whispered in tales of caution, a warning against hubris. But my story isn't about pride, it's about passion. It's about a gift that became my curse. I was just a woman, a weaver from a small town in Lydia. But my hands could do magic. With shuttle and loom, I spun threads of wool into scenes so vivid, so alive. You'd swear you could feel the sea breeze from my woven oceans or hear the rustle of leaves in my threaded forests. My tapestries were my soul made visible. People came from all over to see them. They said my work rivaled the gods, that my skill was a divine gift. At first, I was humbled. But as the praise grew louder, so did a whisper in my own heart. A whisper that said, "Your skill is your own. You earned it." I spent every waking hour at my loom, my fingers dancing across the threads, perfecting every detail, pushing the boundaries of my art. The gods, they had all of eternity. I had but a single, fleeting life to create beauty. The whispers eventually reached Mount Olympus, and the one who heard them loudest was Athena, the goddess of wisdom, warfare, and yes, the patron of weavers like me. Mortals began to say my tapestries were more beautiful than hers. Can you imagine? A mere human, outshining a goddess at her own craft. I should have been afraid, but I wasn't. I was fueled by my art, by the fire of creation. I was confident, perhaps too confident. So I did the unthinkable. I publicly declared that my skill was my own, and that I would gladly challenge Athena herself to a contest to prove it. The words had barely left my lips when an old woman appeared before me, her back bent with age, her voice a fragile rasp. She warned me to be content with my mortal fame, to beg forgiveness from the goddess. I saw through the disguise. I knew it was Athena. But I didn't back down. I told her I stood by my challenge. The old woman's form dissolved, revealing the radiant, imposing goddess of wisdom in all her glory. She looked at me, her gray eyes as sharp as spear points, and accepted. The contest was set. The looms were placed side by side. Athena wove a masterpiece, a tapestry depicting the majesty of the 12 Olympian gods, a glorious scene of their power over foolish mortals who dared to challenge them. It was a warning, woven in divine thread. It was magnificent, flawless, and terrifying. Then it was my turn. I didn't weave of the gods' glory. I wove their shame. I depicted Zeus and his many deceptions, Poseidon's cruelties, Apollo's transgressions. I showed the gods not as perfect beings on a mountaintop, but as flawed, jealous, and vindictive figures, preying on mortals for their own amusement. My work was not a tribute, it was an accusation. And technically it was perfect. Every thread was in place, every color vibrant, every figure so lifelike it seemed to breathe. When I was finished, a hush fell over the crowd. Athena approached my loom. She examined every inch, searching for a single flawed stitch, a misplaced thread, anything to declare herself the victor. She found nothing. My tapestry was technically flawless. The truth I had woven was undeniable. And in that moment, I saw not the goddess of wisdom, but a being consumed by rage and jealousy. She couldn't fault my skill, so she attacked my subject. With a furious cry, she ripped my beautiful, truthful tapestry to shreds. She then turned on me. She struck me on the forehead, filling my mind with shame and guilt for what I had done, for daring to speak truth to power. The feeling was so overwhelming, so crushing, I couldn't bear it. In my despair, I fashioned a noose from my own threads and tried to end my life. But Athena wouldn't grant me that escape. As I hung there, she sprinkled me with a potion, her voice cold as she spoke my curse. "Live on, wicked girl," she said, "but live on and spin forever." My body began to change, to twist and contort. My limbs shriveled and multiplied, my torso shrank into a round, bloated abdomen. My fingers, once so skilled at the loom, became long, spindly legs. I was transformed into the first spider. My art, my passion was now my eternal prison. I was doomed to weave not beautiful tapestries, but sticky, silken webs to catch my food. My name, Arachne, would forever be associated with the creature I had become. So when you see a spider diligently spinning its web, don't just recoil in fear. Remember me. Remember Arachne, the woman who was punished not for her pride, but for her talent. For being too good, for daring to show the truth, and for forgetting that the gods do not tolerate mortals who outshine them. My story is a warning that to be a master of your craft can be a dangerous thing indeed. Thank you for listening. If you find tales from mythology as fascinating as I do, consider subscribing for more stories from the ancient world.